Hey everybody, I'm Dawn and welcome back to ARC Reviews. And today's ARC review is Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse. This comes out November 11th. If you are new here, hi, I'm Dawn and I have a podcast that I do with my friend Ashley. Hey Ashley. And I'm going to be doing this review the same way we do our podcast. I start with an overview of the book, my rating. I will do a spoiler-free dislikes and likes, and then I will go into spoilers if I feel it is warranted. I got this book from Edelweiss. If you do not know what Edelweiss is, it is comparable to NetGalley. Just kind of Google Above the Tree Line and maybe you will be able to get this book as well. All right, I am going to attempt to do an overview of this book. It is quite a long overview and I'm just going to give you a little tip. If you go to Goodreads and read the overview, it is kind of better than the book. Okay, here we go. Tread of Angels is kind of set in an old-time Western town feel. At least that's how I took it as. Our main character, Celeste, is a half-fallen, half-elect. Now, the elects are the upper crust, the privileged, the best, whereas the fallen are pieces of shit. They are the dregs of society. Celeste is mixed, but she can pass as an elect. She has a sister, however, who is full fallen and she works in a saloon. So when their father passes away and mother, Celeste goes and decides to take care of her sister. I don't know why. Her sister's probably doing just fine without her, but she goes to help take care of her sister. One day her sister Marielle has been accused of killing an angel. You heard me, an angel. And Celeste goes to defend her honor. Where to begin? That's the real story. First of all, I gave this book a 3. I gave it a 3. I would like to say that I have read The Black Sun and revered star, fevered star, I don't know. But you know, book two of The Fallen Sun, that is not the name of that book. Book 2 of Black Sun, I did read her books. I am familiar with her writing styles. I was excited when she had a new book. First of all, the book is only 208 pages. Now, I don't know what constitutes a short story versus a novella. I don't know. I didn't bother to look it up. The point is that this book is only 208 pages, and that is the problem. The problem is that Rebecca tries to do too much in a short amount of time. So here's what she's trying to do in this book. First of all, this book is steampunk. Yeah, it's steampunk. It has an overarching theme of like racism. We have angels and demons. We have a forbidden romance. And it's all set in like a Western old-timey town. That sounds kind of cool. However, it's only 208 pages. So what Rebecca should have done is follow the Coco Chanel rule of remove something before you leave the house or make your book 150 pages longer. That would have helped it out. None of those things happened, and here's why it's only a 3. There was not enough time to develop any of those fabulous things that I mentioned. None of them were developed. Everything was underdeveloped, painfully underdeveloped, particularly the steampunk part. So, and this is all in the description, there was a war where the angels and demons fought. The demons lost, and when they lost, like something called divinity, like came into town, I don't know, and it powers things. It's like a new type of technology. It's like fairy dust. I was thinking it's like fairy dust. I don't know. I couldn't picture it. It wasn't really described. It just kept saying divinity. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Can you please describe? Is it tangible? Is it something I can touch? Is it airborne? Is it fairy dust? I don't know. I don't know what divinity actually was. But anyway, divinity was giving these people the ability to have advanced technology. And one of the things they had were airships. But as far as the airship part of the book, they just mentioned oh, there's an airship coming our way. I got on an airship and went across town. That was it. So that was pointless. The next thing that was woefully underdeveloped was the whole angels and demon thing. I didn't understand what the point of it was. What? So like I said, there was a war between angels and demons. The demons lost, and I think there was like a curse from anyone who was a descendant of the demons, and that's why you were called the fallen. I couldn't understand it. She just kind of dumps you into the world and you're expected to kind of figure it out, which ordinarily I'm fine with, but can you give me the tools to figure it out? Which we didn't get many tools to do that. It was just kind of there, and you were just, I guess you just kind of fill in the gaps with your own imagination. We have angels or the elect. I don't know. No, there was a group of people who were like the justice system, and they were angels, and they were called virtue. Girl, I just read this book last week, and I'm still confused. I don't understand why she included angels and demons in the book. It could have been hot dogs and rainbows, pigs and chickens, tacos and lipstick. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. She could have chosen anything, and it wouldn't have changed the plot. So I don't know what the point of that was. The forbidden romance. So our main character, Celeste, she used to date a demon, and he wanted something from her that she just could not give him. And so she's like, I'm sorry, Abraxas, demon sire, I can't be with you. I can't, because I can't. And he's like, okay, cool, but I still love you, and I'm still gonna try and like date you. And so when her sister has been accused and has been taken off to the prisons, she's like, oh my God, I need help. Abraxas, help me. He's like, cool, I'm gonna help you. Meanwhile, I'm gonna try to get in them pants. And she's like, whatever, I'm not about that. But eventually, of course, she lets him get in them pants. Now, this would have been good if it was developed better. But once again, only 208 pages. So at the beginning of the book, she has this really great line. Let me find the line. I would have had it if I was prepared, but I'm not. I don't know if this is great now that I read it again. It's okay. It lasted a season and ended in bitterness. She unable to give him what he wanted, which was everything, and he unable to settle for anything less. I mean, you know, that was cute. It was cute. I understand what she was trying to do, Roanhorse. She was trying to build this, like, and I'm just going to use this as an example. I'm not saying this is exactly, but I'm using this as an example because this is the group, this is the duo that most people know. And that is Feyre and Rhys. I think it was kind of, especially book one, book two, where, you know, she's like, I'm virtuous, and he's the bad boy, and she's virginal, and, you know, and he's dangerous. Like, it's that type of a relationship, which we love. I love it. I loved it. I was all about that in book one. However, it's painfully underdeveloped. Like, at one point, she's like, no, I can't give you what you want. And then she's like, but you helped me, let's bang. And then he's like, you love me. And she's like, no, I don't. And then he's like, okay, bye. And then she's like, but now I love you. And he's like, but I thought you didn't love me, but now I love you. We love each other. And it's just, but that happens in the course of 50 pages, maybe 30. Like, it's just not enough time to develop anything for me to be like, oh, this is juicy. And on top of that, it wasn't even spicy. Like, you could at least give me some spice. I would say out of 5 peppers, and I honestly do not know the pepper scale. Like, I'm just gonna say that 5 peppers is the spiciest. Now, what is the spiciest? Does that mean butt stuff? I don't know what the spiciest is. But let's just say that 5 peppers is butt stuff. Then this is probably 2 peppers. 2 peppers suck. This is an adult book. if you're not going to give me a well-rounded romance, I want some pepperidge. There wasn't. So there's that. The next topic that is underdeveloped is, okay, well, yeah, okay, so the whole racist theme going here. But it really could be anything. Like, it could be like the elect are the white people, or the cisgender people, or the Christians, whereas the fallen are the brown people, or the queer people, or the non-Christians. Like, you could fill in the blank with anything, which is great. And you can tell the difference because I think the fallen have like a ring in their iris and their eye, and you could that's how you can distinguish, you know, if they are the, you know, if they are the privileged or the pieces of shit. And, you know, she kind of does something with it where the elect are, you know, they live in the nicer homes, they have better clothes, they have better jobs, and the fallen live in the ghetto, and they have low wage jobs or working class jobs, low skill jobs, and, you know, but it's like basic discrimination. It's like, ew, fallen, don't sit next to me in this restaurant. Or, ew, fallen, go live in your dust covered shack in the ghetto. You know, it's not anything innovative or new, or, you know, she's not saying anything new here. We've all read it, seen it before. Unfortunately, she doesn't do anything with it, especially since Celeste can pass. She doesn't have the thing in her eye, and so she can straddle both worlds. She can use her elect background to her advantage, which she does, but she chooses to live in the ghetto because she wants to stay true to herself. Great. There's another good line. And when I say good line, these are the things that I actually liked about this book, and it's not many. Okay. So her father was an elect, and that's where she got the privilege part from. And she says she used her father's name. At first she thought not to, but why shouldn't he be of use for once? I thought that was pretty cute. I think that really kind of summed up how she felt about her father and her background. And I think it's good writing when an author can do all of that in one sentence, which means Rebecca Roanhorse has potential. She has potential to be a good writer. However, the execution of this book was stinky. The idea is solid. The idea is great. And one thing about fantasy, and I read a lot of fantasy, is that it tends to be very repetitive. We tend to see the same themes, the same voice, the same world, just a slight variation of it. And it gets boring after a while. And so I appreciate when Roanhorse thinks outside of the box. She did that in The Black Sun, which I liked about that book. She does it here. Granted, there are one too many things going outside that box. I wish she had to close the box on a couple of those things, but nonetheless, it was a solid idea. It was different. I was imagining, what's that movie with the new 007? Craig, what's his name? Craig and them. I don't know his name. Daniel Craig. He was in a movie where it was like a Western, but it was like set. Now I gotta look it up. Damn it. Let me look it up. Cowboys and Aliens. This book was kind of giving me Cowboys and Aliens. That movie was kind of, I was picturing that, even though there were no aliens in this book, there were angels. So, you know, kind of imagine that, which is really cool. Like, you don't get that often in fantasy. I thought that was a great idea. It was just, she needed more time. I think if she just had given herself more pages, it would have been a much better book. That's all. She just needed more pages. I don't think she needed to eliminate anything. I think she could have done it all in a longer book. And I don't think this is like a book 1. I think this is it. So we're not going to get anything else. The ending was just so quick. It was just like boop, 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 and the end. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I already said my likes. My likes were the idea. The execution was just shit. I like those 2 quotes. That's it. That's all I liked. Okay, that's not true. I think that one of Rebecca's strengths is character development. I really liked the characters in The Black Sun. I thought they weren't like the best I've ever read in my life or anything, but I thought they were some pretty well developed characters. You rooted for them, you hated some of them, you wanted to see some of them like get together and have babies for the rest of their life, you know? And that's what you want in character development, and she did that really well in The Black Sun. I don't know. This book just did not replicate that level of writing that I know she has the potential to have. This was disappointing. This was disappointing, especially coming off of the popularity of The Black Sun. Another, I forgot a like, I remembered. The other like is the diversity in her books. Like, everyone is just a varied version of brown. At least I think. I don't think the angels are white. I don't think it's that on the nose. But maybe were some described as, I don't know. I can't be expected to remember things I read last week. I mean, come on. But she does always have a lot of diversity, including like sexual orientations. There was some queer representation in this book, and it never feels box checky, which is appreciative. So that is the spoiler-free edition of Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse. Do I recommend it? If you are a die-hard fan of Rebecca Roanhorse, sure, have at it. If not, if you haven't read The Black Sun and you're like, oh, maybe I'll read this first, it's shorter. No, read The Black Sun. Don't read this, because then you're gonna be like, I don't understand the hype of this woman. Don't read this. Read The Black Sun. It's much better. All right, I will do a very quick spoiler edition in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you do not know, that is the Rhythm Nation countdown that Jenna Jackson does in her video, and I love it, so that's why I did it. Should I be Jenna Jackson for Halloween this year? Let me know below if I should. Okay, very, very, very quick spoiler. It's not much to spoil here. I knew that her sister did it. It was pretty obvious. It was really obvious. It was not a shocker. I think it was supposed to be a twist, but it wasn't. And the way that it like developed was just like so quickly. It's like, oh, this guy that she killed was her baby daddy, and then he is a philanderer, and his wife is like, he comes home to me every night. Okay. Then at the end, the wife is like, I'll rehabilitate her. She's a whore. I'll make her a Christian woman. I'm like, what? What is this book? That ending was redonkulous. It gets the super duper redonkulous award. It's terrible. I don't like that ending at all. It was bad. Like, if you're going to go to the theme of, I think my sister is pure as the driven snow, but really she is sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you need time to develop that. You need time to, we needed to have seen Marielle and seen her in her virginity. I don't think that's a word. I know it's not a word. I was an English major, I know that. But you know what I'm trying to say. And all her virginness. We need to see her like that. And then hear from all the town folks. She did the cocaine. She raises her skirt and sticks out her butt. Like, you know, like we needed to like hear whispers around town about her. We heard one whisper. Once again, because the book was too damn short. Thank you for joining me for my spoiler edition. I do not know what my next book is. Yes, I do. My next book will be The Atlas Paradox. I knew that. The Atlas Paradox, which is book 2 of The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. That will be my next arc. I am reading it now. And I have no thoughts right now because I'm early days. But that will be my next arc review. Until then, I will catch you in the next arc review. Bye-bye.